this episode. So I want to get to obviously what everybody has seen: LeBron James approaching Stephen A. courtside. So one thing that has come out since this everybody's been talking about it is that this didn't happen at the end of the game. It actually happened during a timeout in the middle of the game. LeBron James leaves the timeout, sees Stephen A. courtside, and then approaches him. By now, everybody's seen it. Stop messing with my son. Keep my son out of it. Whatever. After that, when the Lakers went to play in Boston, Richard Jefferson's calling the game for ESPN, and there's footage of LeBron and Richard Jefferson talking, and LeBron saying once Stephen A. said, about I'm pleading to you as a father. He said I couldn't. Right. So where do you guys stand on this whole Stephen A. versus LeBron issue? Are you on Team Stephen A. or Team LeBron?
I'll go Team Stephen A. People are soft. It kind of reminds me of when Chris Bosh got offended over Spice Bosh and said, "Don't insult my family name" and all that stuff. I mean, Stephen A. is a paid mouthpiece. He's paid to say outlandish things, and I don't think Braun maybe views it as a personal shot because he mentioned his name. He said as a father, but I mean, realistically, the talk is really about Bronny. A lot of people have been pushing that narrative that he sort of didn't earn it. His dad brought him along, which we all know is true, but, big deal. It makes you look soft in a way. It makes it look like it's getting to you. If you give that credence and you get angry and you approach it, you're making it seem like, yeah, this is really bothering me. If you don't say anything, it just breezes by. But now I see kind of a little chink in your armor. Now I feel like I could go at you even more if I wanted to. Like, I don't know if that's going to scare Stephen A. off. Maybe that's going to embolden him to, say even more crazy stuff. I don't know.
I mean, I've gone back and forth. Initially, when I first saw this, of course, I get it. LeBron as a father, I get it. And I saw the clip I was watching with Stephen A. was saying, "LeBron, as a father, I plead to you, stop this." I thought he was out of line. And I think he was questioning LeBron's fathering skills, not just his basketball. So I could see why LeBron would be offended by that and want to do something with it. But I don't think he should have approached him during the game. What was he going to do? Start a fight and get kicked out of the game and not go back to join your team? It didn't make any sense to me. What if Stephen A. was a different guy and acted a different way and it became a confrontation? LeBron James, really? How bad does that look on you? I just think he didn't think it through. He's like, I'm going to go talk to this guy. I'm going to approach him now. But he could have called him. Many have said, including Stephen A., he could have called him. He could have got his number, could have set up a meeting, and just told him, listen, knock it off. There's certain things I don't like. LeBron wanted to make a spectacle of it. He wanted people to know that he confronted Stephen A., and he wanted it to be a thing like he's sticking up for his father. And I get it. And as a father, we all got to do what we have to do for our children. But it was LeBron that tweeted that Bronny was better than most of the players in the league or half of the players in the league or something like that, he said. He put a target on his kid's back. And I know he was a 55th pick. And most, if any, 55th picks don't get as much attention and talked about as much as Bronny does. But what role does LeBron play in that? And pushing him since he was young and all this stuff about him. So Bronny makes more money, sells more jerseys than any other 55th pick. So he's going to get a lot of attention, good and bad. And I think Stephen A. crossed the line when he was questioning his fatherhood. But at the same time, it's blurry because you've made him a public figure. And now you have to allow the arrows to come at him. You can't be his shield all the time. You can't run in there in the middle of a game and want to confront people. What if Stephen A. had pushed him? What's going to happen there? They're gonna start scrapping and rolling on the court. LeBron James, come on, man. I just think he should have handled it differently. I hope he never does that again. I don't care who. He may be that guy, but I hope he never does that again. I hope he just pulls back and is like, my son's in the fire now, and now he has to stand on his own. And I can't fight all his battles, or if I'm going to fight his battles, there's other ways he can go about doing it. He has the money and he has the resources that he can find another way rather than old school gangster, right? So
I'm going to go quickly because we're running out of time. We got 2 minutes to go. So to me, I think it's weird because LeBron was saying to Stephen A, keep my son out of it. But then he's saying, once he said he's questioning me as a father. So then it's kind of like, so which one was it? Is it that he was talking about Bronny, or is that he's talking about you? So that's the part that confused me. So because when you say leave my son out of it or stop messing with my son, I disagree with that because he's a player. So if you want to talk about, guys like Stephen A are going to talk about players. Now, it is hypocritical for Stephen A to be focusing on Bronny when he's not focusing on any of the other rookies. Okay, when he's not focusing on anybody else who was drafted in the second round. That's a whole different conversation, right? Bronny being drafted 55th, nobody's talking about any of these rookies, right? Everybody said last year's draft wasn't that great. Stephen A hasn't even talked about the number one pick in the draft, who plays for the Hawks. You haven't talked about any of these guys, right? So you're talking about Bronny, and you're like, okay, I'm pleading with you, stop this, whatever, as if Bronny is the only rookie who's struggling. That's the part where it's like, come on, if you're Stephen A, you know what you're doing. You're doing this because you have now found another way to make LeBron a talking point by now talking about his son, because ratings matter. You talk about the Lakers, you talk about LeBron, people are gonna watch. If you talk about the Atlanta Hawks and Zachary Ricochet, nobody cares, right? So from that standpoint, it's like Stephen A knows what he's doing, right? So I get it. But then at the same time, if you're LeBron, like you said, Emmanuel, like you can't. What are you gonna do? You're gonna now try to confront every media personality who talks about Bronny. That's not feasible. You can't do that. So I think at this point he did it. He got it out of the way. He probably felt like he couldn't help himself, but I agree that he shouldn't do that again. He should just leave it as is.
I think that LeBron approaching Stephen A boosted Stephen A, gave him a lot of clout, it gave him a little bit more relevance because LeBron's been attacked many years, notably by Skip Bayless, Jason Whitlock, and numerous amount of people. And he's never responded, never given them, the day or time. Kind of like Michael Jordan, like I'm above all this. Not to Kevin Durant, where I punch down at people, and then he decided in the middle of the game to go and approach Stephen A. So I just thought it let everybody know that this bothered him, and it gave Stephen A even more power to say that his voice is even that much more significant. And I just with LeBron didn't give him that.
Yeah. So to that, so I think the last point I'll make on that, to that point, I think that's probably where you see the difference in, I guess, why he was saying to Stephen A, stop messing with my son. I guess if his son wasn't involved, then he wouldn't have done this, right? Because for 22 years, like you said, he hasn't approached anybody, he hasn't said anything to anybody, and they've been dissing him for 2 decades. But now that it involves Bronny, now you see him acting out of character and doing this. So I guess that is really the difference in this situation, is that he felt like, okay, no, I need to do this because now you're talking about my kid as opposed to dissing me. If you want to diss me, go ahead. But dissing my kid is where I draw the line, which I get it, but I think this should be his first and his last. I don't think he should do this again because he's a pro. Bronny's a pro. He's on the team. This comes with the territory. I mean, let Bronny defend himself, right?
That's right. That's right.